did I mention another? Geez, now I've talked about the sunglasses. These are sunglasses from Contact Mapping. Do you like them? Woo! You do? All right. See the twins? There's one of the twins right there. She's got a pair of glasses now. That's pretty good news. So, you better be nice to me because I might have another pair of sunglasses too that I'm going to be throwing to the crowd. But the fact that, so I was talking about my shirt. This is my Contact Mapping shirt. Why am I doing this? I am Contact Mapping. People say, Tom, you've been a network marketer. When you came out of your mother, they looked at this little baby and said, oh my God, it's a multi-level marketer, isn't he ugly? But that wasn't what happened. They said he was a contact mapper. Because who I am is a contact mapper. Who I am is the most connected human being I know at age 68. Because I have remembered everybody in front of me all my life. And I've written down things about them on yellow stickies. I had ACT, I had Goldmine, I had Excel, I had all those things. I had every trick in the book to try to remember you. I wrote it on my hand, I wrote it on my knee. I kept it in my great, terrible memory, and none of it worked. Oh my gosh, what did I just, you saw my Contact Mapping socks? Oh, you love them. So these are beautiful too. So, and if you guys are truly, truly good, you'll get to see my Contact Mapping briefs. What? They are. What? You don't want to see those? Those are. All right, well, all right. You're not going to get to see the Contact Mapping briefs. That's okay with me. And guess who this is? This is a great human being. I feel like I've known him all my life. Or actually all of his life, and his name is Adrian. Hi, Adrian.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
And how do you and I know each other?
Well, for starters, you're my dad.
Oh, there we go.
And I really have. I have known you my entire life.
That's what I love about him. And it hasn't been easy. Can you imagine me for a father?
No.
I was crazy. I'll never forget.
Worse than you thought, and you thought it was bad.
Oh, there have been so many stories we could tell. We could spend the whole hours telling you stories about his troubled childhood, but instead, he has decided to completely reverse that. And he has decided that what they say is you got to break that link of lunacy. And that's what he did. He broke the link of lunacy. So now he married a normal woman, no offense, and has two adorable children, of whom they're both here. Come on up here, you little angels. Hurry, fast! Fast, we don't have much time. Faster! Faster! Come on! Faster! How do you like that? So these are the kids of him. And to that I can say, job well done. Isn't that amazing? So, you have a choice. Hold it. You can either sit back there in the cheap seats and not eat any popcorn or candy or anything like that, of which I might have in this pocket, or you can sit right there. So it's your choice. You can sit there and be quiet, or you can go back with your mother. You can make that decision. But between here and there, we are going forward.
Lyndon's like, let's make it break forward.
Right.
Lyndon says, I've seen this movie, it doesn't end well.
You should ask her
I
if she
couldn't
wants to
bribe
sit up
them
here.
with candy. They still, they know I was conning them. It's so sad. They call that a tom tall tale. So anyway, Adrian, so tell them a little bit about your story because it's really important. This is going to go fast, but you have to understand this.
Yeah. So I grew up in this business. I was the kid in the back of the room at conventions and watching him build this business. And my parents divorced when I was in first or second grade. And as a kid, you don't know how to appreciate or understand the difference between how it is and how it could have been. And so I didn't realize what a special thing it was to have my dad around, even as a single parent, with us as kids. But I grew up watching him build this business. And I grew up watching him take care of people in network marketing, and I saw him take care of people in AA and take care of people in the homeless community. And needless to say, that made a huge impression on me. But I was also the oldest kid, and somebody who wanted to go and earn, and make my own way. And so I went off to college. I studied finance in college, and I went into the corporate world, and I wanted to do it the traditional way. I wanted to succeed by the world standards. But a couple interesting things happened. One is that the way that I succeeded in the corporate world was really a function of the way that I had absorbed how he built relationships, and that's what allowed me to be successful working in a big corporation. But number two is that as I climbed that chain, I got into a position where I had a huge job, and we were living in Switzerland at this point in time. I had risen through the ranks of a publicly traded company, and I was running a huge operation, over $1 billion in revenue, and I was essentially the CFO for the international business. And I had headquarters in Texas, lived in Switzerland, had a team in England, had a team in Australia, had a team in Hong Kong, which literally meant that someone was always in the office, which meant that something was always going on. And I was working to death, literally. And it wasn't what it was cracked up to be. And so I had this realization that being able to build your own business, being able to create time freedom and flexibility in your life and take your kids to do stuff in this profession is something really valuable that I had totally taken for granted as a kid and that I had missed out. I had missed that memo. And so we came home and we had this idea to take what he has done so well and package that in a way to make it easy, simple, and powerful for each one of you to do that same thing in the way you build relationships. And really that's how contact mapping was born.
That's how it was born. But you know what? It's perfect for this business. Oh. Hello. It is perfect for this business. It is perfect for everything you're doing. If you can start remembering people, you win the game. That's 100% of the game. All you really want is to be remembered, and all anybody else really wants is to be remembered. If you do that, you win. It's that simple. And nobody's doing it. We're all thinking we're gonna sneak up. You know how we do it? It's unbelievable. And this is, I'm going off track. We have scripted this to the nines. So, we have scripted this, not at all. So, here's the deal. What you guys all do is preposterous. You walk into the restaurant with let's just play it. Let's just role play a little bit. You guys give it up for Denise Chenault. Come on up. Come on up here. Come on in here. How are you? What's going on? Jump. How are you? What?
I'm so excited
Why?
to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Yes. Look, I've been thinking about you, and I know you could use this tangy tangerine. Not only that, these plain minerals are amazing, and you need osteo-effects because I can tell you have receding gums. And in addition, if you don't like the taste of the plain minerals, here's some cherry mints that it tastes delicious. And then, fucoidan, have you ever heard of fucoidan? Sea kelp, everybody needs it. You need some of this. And then you're going to need extra tangy tangerine because obviously you weigh over 200 pounds. And then with that, I brought you some extra minerals because your dog needs that, and in addition your mom needs that, and here's some for your daughter, and there's some for your granddaughter, and there's some for your wife, and
That's how you guys present right there.
How would you like to pay for that?
That's what you guys do every time. So, is the person really getting to know you? Is the person really presenting? No, they're not presenting. They're throwing up on you. This is the way you are in the restaurant.
That's
you walk
my
in
one
there.
part for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. But what happens is you guys think the presentation matters. Until I buy you, I'm not gonna buy this. There is no chance until I buy you. And I wanna buy you, I want you to buy me, and that's all we do all day long, is teach you to think about the most important person in the room every time, and it's not you, it's the person across the table from you. If you get that, you get everything. Hey, Mr. Purple Shirt, Pink Shirt, who are you? Say your name, right there, frowning at me. Yes, what is your name?
Mike.
Mike, so what do you do?
I'm a loan originator.
You're a loan originator for David Allen Capital?
No.
In another place?
Yeah.
Do you love your job?
I'm just starting my job.
What did you used to do?
I was Director of Program Management for an aerospace and defense company.
Really? So, does that mean you know how to fly airplanes?
No.
What do you know about it? What's this? Oh, that's my wall.
We designed and launched missiles.
Really? And you left that to go become a lone original.
I retired after 40 years.
And now you got this new gig that you're doing.
Yeah.
That's exciting. And who's that with you?
She's not with me.
She's not with you, you're just sitting with her. I thought you were kind of hitting on her. So that's good. So, and what are you doing here?
I'm with my wife.
And she's doing Youngevity.
Yes, yes.
And so why did you decide to come to this room?
Well, building a network is part of what I do now as a loan officer. It's relationships.
There we go.
Bingo, bango, bongo. And do you believe in network marketing?
Yeah,
Kind of like it. Not for you, but for your wife.
right.
Yeah, I agree with that. But you need relationships, your wife needs relationships, and everybody needs to be better at it. I rest my case. You guys, I am telling you, this is the missing link on everything going on in your life, not only in your life, but in your Youngevity business. If you develop the relationships, if people, the reason somebody doesn't buy something from you, there's only like 4 things. A, they don't trust you. Number 2, they don't feel loved. Number 3, they don't feel safe. And number 4, they don't feel like they belong. That's why. That's in the space. Because down there with those 2 little girls and Callie and Adrian, if they told me to do literally anything, I would do it. Literally anything. Because I love them, I trust them, I believe them, I feel safe, and they belong with me. And when you start developing your relationships with human beings like that are deep and real like that, everything changes. But you can't keep that all in your mind. We have got to map those things in your someplace other than your mind, because you're gonna make a mistake. It's that simple. Would you agree with that? How are those? So, chat, stand up. Turn around.
Again?
Yes.
Shoot.
You guys.
Hi, everybody.
So Chad grew up in Iowa. He moved down to Dallas. He's got 3 children. He's got 4 grandchildren. I love him with all of my heart. He's been sober 27 years. And that's what most of you do. The truth of the matter is he's from San Antonio. The truth of the matter is he grew up in Indiana. He's only been sober 20 years. He's got 2 kids and he's got 2 grandkids. But what we do is we stash all this information in our brain and we think we can remember it, and then we completely screw it up. And as I was saying all the things wrong, he was just getting ready to correct me the whole way. Right? Because his life story is very important to him, and I totally jacked it up right there because I was relying on my brain. If you have that in your pocket, so whenever you meet anybody, forever, you can sit down, Chad.
Thank God.
And turn back around. There you go. And if you keep that someplace other than your brain, your life is going to change dramatically. Does that make sense to you? I swear it's true. I swear that it is the only thing that has made me a great network marketer. I swear it's the only thing that's made me a great human being, because it's given me the ability to create community in literally every community in my life. Alcoholics Anonymous, homeless people, addicts, network marketers, friends, family. I remember everything because of this little app in my pocket. And he made it. He digitized me. This smart little kid and his partner, who happens to be a PhD from MIT, built an app that replicated me that you can carry around in your pocket. Is that cool enough?
Yeah.
Are we out of time?
So, however you build your business, maybe you build online. Maybe you go and you prospect new people and you initiate conversations with people on Facebook and you do Facebook Lives and you do all this kind of stuff. Maybe you're a big part of your community. Maybe you are connecting with people in all different kinds of ways, out and about in town or through different groups, your church, whatever it is that you're a part of. However you do that, the common denominator of building successfully in network marketing is you have to learn other people's stories. You got to figure out how to get inside their head to figure out what they're looking for so that you can decide if that intersects with what you have to offer, and then you can present it back to them powerfully. And if you don't do that groundwork of learning their story in a powerful way, what do you even have to talk about, right? They could go online and buy Youngevity products from somebody else. The reason they could buy products from any person in this room, so there has to be a reason why they would buy from you. There has to be a reason why they would choose to join you as their business partner, because they could choose anybody. They could go Google top person in Youngevity and Tom Chenault's name pops up and his phone number's everywhere and they could just call him. So why wouldn't they do that? Why would they choose you? The only reason that they're going to choose you or stick with you or want to do this thing with you in the long term is because they trust you, because they feel like they belong, because they feel safe, and because they know you're in their corner. And so if you can't get there, however long it lasts, there isn't a real connection. And so we've got to learn how to get great at building that connection. And the way that starts is the coffee shop interview. So raise your hand if you don't know what I mean when I say the coffee shop interview.
If you don't know the coffee shop interview, raise your hand.
Beautiful. Good. Half of you are lying because there's no way that only 2 people have heard of this. But thank you. You were honest. Actually, you get, hold on, who was it? Our 2 hand raisers. All right, here we go. The girls are raising their hands. Kevin, will you give them stuff? And don't skip over the liars in the back of the room there.
Denise, where are you going?
So
You know you're boring when your wife leaves.
she's storming out. It's terrible. All right. So the coffee shop interview is a magic trick. The coffee shop interview is a 10-page or something like that ebook that you can read in one sitting easily, and it is going to change the way forever that you show up for people in conversation. And here's what it is. It's incredible. It's the greatest script in the world, because you know what the script is? There is no script. Okay? There's no script. You have to change out of this world of scripting and into this world of relatedness. And you've got to get out of the mode of having your, nobody really does this, but we do the equivalent of this, right? We show up with this pamphlet and with this goofy way, we switch out of normal human being mode into network marketer mode. And how you've been on the receiving end of this, right? You show up and somebody's invited you and they go, I want to catch up. And you get to the coffee shop and they're just acting really weird. And you just know that the sales pitch is coming any second, right? Because we somehow switch into this wooden network marketer mode, and it's the last thing we want to do. So the coffee shop interview, it's free. You want it. It's contactmapping.com/CSI. So write that down, contactmapping.com/CSI. And it's so important that it's on the home, it's built into the app itself, so you can reference it anytime you need from inside the app. But we give it to you for free, so you can go and download it for free today.
Say it one more time.
Yep, contactmapping.com/CSI for coffee shop interview. So you're going to change the way that you show up to people, and you're going to learn how to get inside their story. And it's not going to take you very long before you're not going to believe the things that people are going to tell you within 5 minutes of meeting them, because it's not about asking the question. It's not about some smart question or some different question or whatever. There are some questions in there that you can use. But it's about showing up interested. It's about showing up in a different way where people know that you actually care and that you're not just asking the question and then like glazing over while they give you the answer and then waiting for them to ask you something so that you can try to sound great. You're really listening. You're really keyed in. And I don't think it was from the main stage. I think it was in a breakout session. But Dad and Denise were telling the story of meeting this couple they were sitting outside in a restaurant. This couple walks by. They start up a conversation, and before you know it, at the end of the conversation, like some really, really deep stuff came out of that conversation where they're really going to be able to touch those people's lives. And that happens to you weekly?
All the time. All the time. These people were literally crying. The guy thought I read his mind. And at the end of the thing, I said, I can read your mind right now. And he said, what do you think? I said, do you want me to tell you what you're thinking? He said, yeah. I said, you're thinking you just met a very old fat angel. Because I just totally changed his life during that conversation. Because I actually listened to him. I listened to the human being across the table. I cared about what he said. He could feel that I felt what was going on with his life and that I could help him change it. And he could not believe it. It was pretty cool, Randy. Do you know why? His grandfather was taught to fly by one of the Wright brothers, and his pilot's license was number 13. Tell me that's not a contact mapping fact. And the reason I said Randy is give it up for the guy that brought Youngevity, the I-26 product, and he's sitting right back in the back of the room, Randy Calvert, right there. And it's so nice to him because he's the guy that flew me over to San Diego in his airplane, and I want to make sure he flies me home.
Gotta be nice to your ride home.
That's exactly right.
But there is no secret. You don't need special words. You don't have to be slick. Actually, the more slick you are, the worse it is. Case in point. Right? You want to be disarmingly and refreshingly authentic and vulnerable. You want to be who you are, and you want to let who you are come out, warts and all, whoever you really are, because that gives that person the permission to bring their whole self to that conversation. And if I'm all buttoned up and I'm trying to seem so, and I'm doing my power script and I'm doing all that stuff, what do? We retreat. We brace for impact because we know that they're just trying to pull one over on us. And it's the worst. There's a guy who's a big speaker who I finally saw through that he was just trying to butter me up because he wanted something from me. And that's the worst feeling, isn't it? It's the worst feeling for you to think that somebody maybe cared about you and they're really just using you. And so the key to this whole thing is you can't pretend to give it. Sorry, my kids are in the back of the room. You have to actually give one, right? So you can't fake like you care because we're too good at seeing it and you won't be able to fake it long enough. You have to shift and make it about them. And you've heard that over and over again from the most successful people who have been up on that stage for the last 2 days. When it shifts from being about you to being about them, this business gets a lot easier. When it shifts from being about you to being about them, suddenly things start to open up. And it's hard to figure out, it's hard to even understand when you're on one side of that to the other, what that's really like until it happens. But that's the whole shift, isn't it?
We are so used to people not being authentic with this. It almost is acceptable. Until you meet somebody that's so completely transparent and authentic. It's like you and I when we met in the hall the other day, you started crying on me. Yeah, you did. You started crying when you instantly saw me. Didn't you? Chad? This Chad, stand up, manly Chad, turn around. I've seen you cry 3 days in a row. Come on. Have I seen you cry 3 days in a row? Yeah.
When days?
Huh?
When? Here?
If it's in a row, that means the last 3 days straight.
Okay.
But Chad finally started firing his brain and hiring his heart. When he started doing that and stopped trying to be like that guy over there and being his authentic Chad, his life has shifted 100%. In network marketing, this is so critically important. When you're selling shoes at the shoe store, when you're selling loans even, I don't care what it is when you're selling it, the minute they buy it, the boss pats you on the head, says congratulations, you made the sale, and you go on to the next sale. In network marketing, it's 100% different. This transaction starts the day you make that sale. The minute they become your distributor, you marry them forever. They are your customer, and then they're your distributor, and then they're your partner for life. Claire, up here in the front row, one of my top line girls, is a partner of mine for life. She was in another network marketing company, Dr. Claire Kelway. Give her whatever you do. She's from England. She's got 4 kids. She's got a husband that ran 5 hospitals, who was extremely successful until he got laid off. She is a beast of a naturopathic doctor, famous. She was in another company, and her upline in the other company says, I think you'd be better off in Youngevity. You need to call Tom Chenault. True or not true?
True.
Because I love you, right?
I love you too.
Enough that I called your son the wrong name a couple days ago. I did. I ran into her and I called him Harry. It was her other son. And I felt so bad because who I am is not that. And if one of my kids called my grandkids called the kid, one of them's called Lyndon and one of them's called Corinne, and if somebody would ever correct me, do that backwards, I would make that mean something. It broke my heart that I called your son by the wrong name. Because you need to know you matter to me. Margie, you matter to me. Rock, saw you cry today 4 times. I did. These men are criers these days. But at the end of the day, it's because we are allowing ourselves. Can I talk about that real quickly? I am sick and tired of you guys going out there and trying to learn all these skills, thinking you're going to win this game, learning the skills. Where's my iPad? Is it close by? Yeah. See if you can, it's 1113, and give me 65 days to wake up and give me the cover photo on that. Did you notice that? And if anybody tries to
He's in open book.
That's transparency. My code's 1113. Yeah, that's no problem at all. I have nothing that you can't have. I love you that much.
Want me to do that instead?
But the point is, this success in this business does not lie in the skills. Let's get rid of that. You see that little tiny circle right there that says skills? That's how important the skills are that you're spending all your money on, traveling the world trying to find that magic secret, Cheryl and McClintock, that is going to set you free to understand how to do this business. You already know how to do the business. And the reason I have these 2 grown men crying today is because we live here. We all know the skills. The magic lies in love and compassion in that heart right there, which is, and that's a heart, and that is actually radical self-inquiry. Looking deep within yourself, that's where the magic happens.
Love you, Tom.
And then it turns from there to going and sharing it with people of a like mind. So what's happening with these grown men, these tough grown men, stand up, Rock. You interview him with your eyes, you think he's you don't even know what he is because he's so dangerous looking. Look at him. You don't know what he is. You're going to be scared to death. I'll tell you one thing you don't believe from me is that this guy cried 3 times over the last 24 hours with me because his heart is so much bigger than his brain and because he lives his life to contribute and he's finally getting access to the fact that contribution is the answer to his problems. Is that true? You are a teddy bear, aren't you? He's crying.
Number 4.
Rock is every one of you when you take the walls down. Every one of us have a story that will take us to our knees if somebody will just take the time to listen to it. Does that make sense? James Rouse. He'll tell you stories about his childhood and his parents getting drunk and having fights with each other with cars. And they're sitting in the front yard and the people are, it's horrible. But look what it made him. He let his experiences in his life make him, not break him. That's what we're doing here right now. We are getting down and dirty. I know what makes this woman tick. I know why she came from England. I know why she's in Colorado. I know what's going to get her up in the morning. I know Lance Gordon. I know what makes him tick. I know why I love this guy. And his buddy Jamal, he's always worried about his buddy Jamal. Jamal is one of the cutest men. Stand up, Jamal. First Muslim I ever loved. Right here. Give him a round of applause. Remember when I told you that 5 years ago, or longer than that maybe?
Yeah, it was longer than 5 years ago. Yeah.
And you were in the hospital after that and it broke my heart?
Yeah.
You're a great man, and I love you.
Love you too.
Isn't this cool? How can you not love this? This is what separates you from the rest of those soundbite people that didn't come to this meeting. They can't come to this meeting because they're scared of what it's going to feel like, because they think there's a magic bullet right over there that's going to make them successful. If they just go listen to Luis Ariaza and another business idea. They listen to Scott Barduas with another business idea. They listen to Corey Gold with another business idea. They listen to Star School, another business idea. They listen to Steve Wallach, another business idea. They listen to David Rutz, another business idea. They listen to everybody else, another business idea. I love those business ideas, but that only starts there. You've got to be that human being that sets you apart from the other 999,999 people in Youngevity. And the way that you're going to set yourself apart is not going to be with the knowledge. It's going to be with your heart. Remembering the person across the table. Remembering why you love them. Remembering why when they do a Facebook Live. What happened to you today with your daughter? She ran up, she hugged me on the leg. She looked up at me and said, "I love you, Tom." That's a smart kid.
Who of you couldn't do what he just did with one person in this room? Maybe not with every person in the room, but could you love that way? You could. There wasn't any, you didn't do anything that I'm not smart enough to do. You didn't do anything that I need a bunch more skills to do. You saw people for who they were, and you spoke from your heart, and people felt that, didn't they? You felt that.
Yes.
And you've got to, that's what's missing. You got to give people your heart like that, because they will feel it, and they will respond differently than this arm's length kind of stuff that we normally do. And you can do that. And you're going to learn their story, and they're going to pour back to you, because that is refreshing and it's different, and they're not used to it. And so people are going to share all kinds of things with you. And now you're going to have a new problem, which before it was that they were running for the hills because they knew you were a network marketer. Now people are going to start talking to you and telling you so much stuff about them that you better figure out something to do with this, or you are going to get the wires crossed in a big way very soon. Okay? So the reason that it's not just the coffee shop interview, that the app has to exist, is because you need a place to put this stuff so you don't lose it. We joke about, we're always trying to decide what should we call contact mapping. People sometimes call it a CRM, which is a customer relationship management system, and that's garbage. That's not what it is. That software is not great. So we're always trying to decide, but somebody said something that I think is perfect, which is you should call it a CRS. I can't remember stuff. Because that's where we are, right?
That is so awesome. I've never heard that.
So you gotta park this stuff somewhere, right? Because the worst feeling in the world is when you remember when you call the kid the wrong name, or worse, that person clearly knows who you are, and you are totally petrified the whole conversation because you can't remember a thing about that person. And you lose this conversation because you're stuck this whole conversation trying to figure out who the heck that person was from the last conversation. You got to get out of that place. And it's so easy to do it, right? It is so simple and easy. You meet somebody new. You get their contact information, or you don't. You just put their first name in your phone. I literally do this all the time with servers at restaurants, with people that I meet out and about in town that I may never see again, but it's unbelievable how often you do see them again. And so I put them in my phone, and I pop up in a little note. and I hit that thing, and I just start talking about this person and about their story. So I met this lady, Annette, and she lives in Lake Jackson, Texas. And she had the warmest spirit about her. And she told me that this was the thing she had been looking for to be able to follow up, because that's the biggest problem in her business. And we had this great connection, and we're gonna meet up later this weekend so I can get her set up. And literally everything I just said is right there in my app. It's that easy, guys. And you are gonna waste a tremendous amount of time. I will answer your question. You're gonna waste a tremendous amount of time thinking you don't have time to do that, and instead you're gonna be doing this, scrolling through some string of text messages trying to figure out who they are. Or you're gonna get carpal tunnel doing this because they haven't mentioned their kid by name in a Facebook photo since 2014, and you are like, who is this kid's name? I can't remember your kid's name. We do this stupid stuff because we couldn't take 20 seconds to do that. So take 20 seconds to do that. I promise it's so much easier. Yes, sir.
I understand the system. I love the system from the first time I heard it.
Okay.
Teach me how to talk into my phone so I can capture this information.
Come find me after. We got you. We will have you on lockdown, my friend.
I'm going to teach you right now. You hit the microphone and say, hey man, I love that Tom Chenault. He's so handsome, period. He is a great guy, period. I got to talk to him tomorrow, period. He's got three grandkids, one named Corinne, one named Lyndon, one named Hugo. And done. We're going to teach you that. The app does it all. Okay, I just counted how many people are in this room because I don't. You guys trust me? Anybody here that doesn't trust me? If there's anybody here that doesn't trust me, you almost raised your hand, Desiree. So you need to know this is true. Is there anybody here that does not have a cell phone? You don't have a cell, you're lying, Daniel. Okay, anybody here? Just that old codger over there in the red shirt? Yeah? All right, that doesn't surprise me. You got those two angels right beside you to take care of the problem. So here's the deal. And this is like, no kidding, like, this is so important. I want you to send me a text right now. No, don't take it yet. I want you to take a selfie of yourself right now. Take a selfie of yourself. I don't care what you look at. Do not brush your teeth or pull any of that snot off of your shirt. Nothing. I want to see you as you are right now. Take a selfie. Everybody take a selfie. You can do group selfies. You can do the whole thing. That's good, Pratik. Doing a very good job back there.
See me again?
Huh?
You want to see me again?
I want another picture of you.
Again?
Yes.
I just sent you one.
Today?
Just the other day.
The other day.
I love you, Bob.
Or if you just sent me one in the next, I want you to send me and say that I want to know you're here. So inside of that text, I want you to say contact mapping seminar, because I want you 100 people of the 1,200 people that are here today to know that you honored my son, not me. You honored my son, and you honored this app by coming to the seminar. And you have no idea how much this means to me. So not only am I going to send you a 4-minute little movie on how to put your phone and your voice into it. I'm going to send you a movie so you can see it. You've triggered the thought. I'm going to send you something else better. So I'm going to do something extraordinary, and I don't even know what it is yet because it just flitted through my brain because I knew this is the answer for him. So I'm going to make it the answer for all of you, and you're going to send me this text right now to 720, and I'm going to respond 100%. Not one person is going to get missed. 720-840-7222. 720-840-7222. Put your name, your picture, and contact mapping. That way I know you're here. Your name, your picture, contact mapping. And I'm going to change your life. Because you spent an hour with my son, my grandkids, my daughter-in-law, my wife, and me, when you had a choice of about 50 useless seminars. I'm kidding. That was a joke. That was a joke. I promise that was a joke. There were 50 awesome seminars and you chose this. Or you actually thought this was Louis Arias's thing and you got trapped and you felt embarrassed leaving. But whatever it was, I promise you, you are that important to me. I'm gonna do something special, Margie, that's gonna change your life. Does that make sense to you? This isn't what I do part-time. This isn't what I do full-time. This isn't what I do anything. This is who I am. Contact mapping is who I am. I am positive that with this technology, this app, this process, we're going to change the world. And I'm going to prove it to you right now. What you don't know that is going to blow your head off is 4 months ago, in the middle of the night, I was struggling with some thoughts. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I was in Sydney, Australia, walking down the street, looking for a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. And I'm praying and I'm turning it over to God. And I looked at my phone and it was ringing. And I knew who it was because it's mapped in my phone from 11 years ago. And I said, James Rouse, what are you doing calling me? God had James Rouse call me. I was in Australia. I was struggling. God had James Rouse call me. He was struggling. We decided to talk. We had such a powerful conversation that we got together and we're going to change the world. Yeah. That's what we're going to do. It's going to be love. It's going to be abundance. It's going to be anti-social media. In other words, we're not going to have a phone screen between us anymore. We're going to be talking to each other. We're going to be crying. I wasn't creeped out when you cried today, was I? I wasn't creeped out when you cried today, was I? I wasn't creeped out, was I? I'm not creeped out. I'm honored when you trust me enough to cry with me. Does that make sense? I am a walking, talking white Oprah. I've never. I don't even know why I said that. I'm so embarrassed. Oh my God, was that racist or sexist or anything, or was it just good? Because that's all right. Oh no, I fell off. All right, good. Back to you, my son.
Now to resume our regularly scheduled program. You can do this. And it's as simple as remembering a few things and speaking them into your phone. It's as simple as hitting the little box that shows up at the end of that and then saying, I'm going to follow up with this person in a day or in a week or in a month or whatever it is. And just let this thing help you do the things that you want to do, that you say you want to do, that you say you will do, and that we all fall down in a big way when it comes to the actual doing. And we just need help. We need somebody or something that's going to come alongside of us in our business and is going to help us to live into our intention and not get pulled away by all the distractions and pings and all the stuff that stands between us and building the life that we want to build, building the business that we want to build. And we've made it so easy for you to follow through on this thing. So easy.
And all you old guys, I'm not looking at you, sir. So, we're starting these new careers and we're doing all this new stuff. And what is going through our heads is, I wish I would have remembered and kept the numbers of all those guys through our careers. Am I wrong or am I right? You just wish you had that list and it's long gone.
The problem I have from what you said in the beginning is the first thing I forget when I'm listening to them is what their name is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's the truth. And there's so many, we've got so many tricks for you to remember that. But the name of the game, when I send you this 4-minute video, I want you to, there's going to be a face you remember. And you're going to see this familiar face, and now I'm going to give you a tip. Because the familiar face is a movie star. And the movie star got in this 4-minute clip that I sent you, and Adrian has got this movie star with him. And because we love you guys so much, we brought the movie star in. Come on up here. There he is. So this is Devin Suggs. So Devin's got the craziest story you've ever heard. He's got this dad who's a chiropractor who is amazing. I met him a few times. Every time I'm in his office, it's all Tony Robbins and listening to all this personal development stuff. This guy is a whirling dervish chiropractor. His mom, on the other hand, is a fashionista, socialite at a level you've never seen before. She went to Vail skiing with these guys and took a photographer. True or not true? And it was so exciting. So they live in San Antonio, Texas, and his stepdad invented the camera for the cell phone. Just try to imagine the room full of money that goes along with that deal. They offered Devin and Dylan all the money they wanted to start a business and get away from this business. And they looked their mom and dad in the eye and said, respectfully, I think we're gonna go it alone. Ladies and gentlemen, Devin Suggs. How old are you? 26 years old. And why on earth do you love contact mapping, Adrian, Chenault, and Youngevity?
That's a great question.
And he was the trainer of the year, so our physiques are slightly different. He was the trainer of the year in San Antonio. What's going on?
At the end of the day, what I crave a lot is what my father does, which is having a positive impact on people's lives every single day. And as I was working at his clinic, I actually met Tom, which was awesome. And for me at the time, I was planning on becoming a chiropractor, like my father. And as much as I'd like to say that my dad runs that practice, really 9 times out of 10, that practice runs him. Yeah. And I see the amount of stress that it brings him. And then I meet Tom, and I see his lifestyle, and I see how much he loves. I see how much he cares compassionately. And I was like, I want to live a life like him. And so I suspended all my disbelief about network marketing or whatever, and I said yes. I made the decision. And since then, it's been amazing. You know, I desire to live a life of compassion, of impact, of travel, of freedom. A man who's genuinely after God's heart, and I want to be able to pay it forward within my generation of the millennials, but also anybody that I come across. And so I'm grateful to be here.
Contact mapping and relationships. Great, contact mapping and relationships. That guy's not going to turn you up yet.
Yep. So contact mapping and relationships, at the end of the day, I believe people are gifts. And the way you unwrap them is through asking intentional questions. And contact mapping is an amazing resource to reflect back to make sure that you stay up to date. And as you guys are all familiar with the quote from Jim Rohn, the fortune lies in the follow-up. And contact mapping just makes sure that you are staying like up to date with everyone and everyone you come across. So I love contact mapping for that. It's amazing, and I can't wait to see what's in store with this app.
Any other questions? You guys, everywhere you go, the person in front of you is the person God put in front of you. Instead of looking through them for the next person, look at them, love them, figure out a way to have them leaving, feeling better having met you than when they got there, and you are going to help us change the world. We love you so much. I know you texted me. Now I have over 100 text messages to return, and most of you are going, that's a mountain to climb. All I'm going to tell you is I love you, and I am going to joyously text you all back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Am I right? Adrian, you want to say it? Thank you all so much.